Hey everybody. Oh, we have such fun tonight. We are going to be doing some projects with calendars from Dollar Tree. I have a ton of them in my stash and I'm trying to work out my stash and use some of it. So I've got ones from 2025, ones from 2024. And so we're going to do some fun projects, 5 of them. Stay to the end. It is the easiest one by far. And I think it's my favorite. It was like an accidental project. And those, I love those. Anyways, and the other thing I noticed was, what? Do you see how much that says? It says $1.50. I can't believe I paid $1.50 for a calendar and didn't notice it. I still would have, but whatever. But anyways, and hey, by the way, I'm Colette with Blessings Craft Therapy, if you didn't know. And if you did, thanks so much for coming back. All right, let's get to the projects. All right, so I start with this calendar, and I have this wicked heavy cardstock I had gotten at clearance. I'm going to use one piece of that. Now, all these little pieces on the back, those little squares, we're going to cut all those out. I'm also going to cut my cardstock to 2.5 inches wide. Now, I like a chunky bookmark. If you don't, then obviously cut yours accordingly. But here we are having all of those little squares. Now, we're going to take the square, the little one, and we're going to match it to the big image from the calendar. And then I'm going to cut that bit. I'm just going to do a strip of that big image, the same size as our bookmark. In this case, it's 2.5 inches. And then I have some double-sided tape, and I'm just going to tape the long strip that we just did. We're going to tape that onto our cardstock, and then I'm going to trim it because you know I can't cut a straight line even when I use a paper cutter. It's ridiculous. Then we're going to do some more tape on the back of our little image, and we're going to center that on the front. We're going to do that for as many bookmarks as you want to make. I round the corners. I'm using, it's a We Are Memory Keepers edge rounder. Man, why are words so hard? The edger, whatever. But look at, I made 4 different bookmarks, and look at how cute, right? Now I'm going to use these thermal pouches, and I'm going to set them into it. It's just like a folder, and so you put them in it, and then we're going to put the top piece over it, and then we're going to put it through a laminator. Now, yes, I'm using a laminator. You could use contact paper if you didn't have a laminator, but I have one, so why wouldn't I use it? And it's all warm, and it's cold out. You know, listen. Serve so many purposes, but there it is. They came out. We're going to cut them apart. I like to keep that laminate pretty thick around the edges, but you do however you want. I did go over and round the edges again. You don't have to round the edges, but then I send it through my laminator again just to make sure that it's on there. And look at how pretty. Look at so fun. I love bookmarks. I don't know about anybody else, but bookmarks, yes, please and thank you. I use them in my Bible. I'll use them in my planners. It's awesome. Then we're going to pop a hole in the top, and I do this for each of my bookmarks. And then I'm putting some ribbon in it. Now, this happens to be like, I think it's like organza ribbon. And I'm just folding it in half, putting it through the hole, and then pull the tails through. And look at how pretty. But you know, I can't stop there. I actually added a little bead on the top and Holy Toledo. Now, I did a whole different thing for each one. You could go simple, you could go fancy, whatever you want. But I liked the bead situation on this one for whatever reason. I was feeling a little froggy, so I jumped. Is that even, I don't even know if that's the right way to say that. But anyways, look, here's another one. We put different ribbons on it. We have this one with lace. I mean, come on. These are so much fun. And yes, my children already snagged them. All right, so I have a calendar from Dollar Tree. We're going to cut out each one of these little squares. And I also have some coasters that I had gotten on clearance at Dollar General. They were like a dime. I also have some adhesive back cork. Now here you see I cut out all of those little squares on the back. And then I'm going to cut them down ish. I do keep that little border around them though. I just thought it looked pretty. But decide which ones you want to do. I'm only doing 4 coasters. So I'm matching up my little, just like we did before when we did our bookmarks, we're going to get the small image and then we're going to match the larger image. Now I used my fancy schmancy circle cutter, but you don't have to do this part. I just thought it would look pretty and I have it in my stash. So I have to start using this stuff. So I made a little circle and I matched up the big image to the smaller image and just traced my my coaster onto that big image. I did the same tracing of our coaster on our adhesive back cork. Now here are our coasters. Obviously one side is really vibrant, right? So we're going to put our images on the white side. I'm using dishwasher safe Mod Podge and I'm going to just do a layer. Then we're going to let it dry. Once it's dry, see we have our big images that we cut out earlier that matched our small ones. And I put it on the coaster that has the dried Mod Podge. And then I'm putting it on, I'm using a Teflon sheet because I ran out of my parchment paper. So just make sure you are protecting the top of your image. And then I iron it, and then I use my brayer to go over it. And that's kind of key, let me just tell you, because it will get bubbles or whatever. And if you don't like smooth it out, those bubbles will still be there. So I just found that it's easier when it's nice and warm, just use a brayer or a water bottle or whatever just to get out those bubbles. Then I use my sander that I got at Walmart and I just sand off the excess. Ta-da, lovely. Then I'm going to take our little images that I cut into circles. I'm going to put dishwasher safe Mod Podge on the back of that, and then I'm going to put it to the center of our bigger image that we put on our coasters. Easy, no issues, right? I know. So we did that. And when I did it, I was like, I don't know, it just seemed so harsh. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you'll see I'm smoothing this out. And I did take a piece of, what's it called? Words are hard. Wax paper. I found that when I did my little image in the center, if I took some wax paper and just kind of used that to kind of smooth out our little center, it smoothed out a little bit easier. But you don't have to do that part. You can see here I didn't do it on some of them too, so it's fine. But anyways, I did one for each little image that I cut out. I did 4 coasters. You do as many as you want. All right, so I have this in my stash. I think it's like rice paper. It's this really cool textured paper. It's got like fibers in it. I had gotten it on clearance a wicked long time ago. So I decided, because the images just looked a little harsh, I wanted to soften it up. So I put some more dishwasher safe Mod Podge on the top. And then I take again, forgive me if it's not rice paper. I think it is. I put the rice paper on top. Again, it's like this weird, awesome fibrous kind of paper. So I did that, smoothed it out, and then I just cut off the excess, and it actually sands off with a sanding block. So I did actually sand it. Now I'll encourage you to let it dry before you start sanding because it can shift. But here you'll see again, I'm doing each one of them. Dishwasher safe Mod Podge, then I put the rice paper on top of it. Now I did find that once you put the dishwasher safe Mod Podge on, then you put the rice paper on. And I found that if I took a piece of wax paper and smoothed it out, it worked really well and there were no bubbles. But again, however you want to do it is great. There it is. It like melts almost into your image. It's really wild. And yet it has this beautiful opaque kind of top to it. I love, love, love it. And again, I let mine dry for a little bit and then I sanded off the excess. But look at how cool that looks. Looks so cool. And you'll see, I'll show you each of the ones that I did. Again, they're each different images. Now the adhesive back cork that we cut out to our coasters a little bit ago, we're going to peel off the backer to that and just add it to the back. I used my brayer just to make sure that it's really on there. Then I used my sanding block to sand off the excess because I can't cut. Even when I measure, I wind up messing it up. So thank God for sanding blocks and all the things. So I did that for each of them. And then after that, I added one more layer of dishwasher safe Mod Podge. And you let them dry and they're beautiful. I am so excited about them. Will they last forever? Probably not. But I'm super excited. I think they came out really pretty. And because of that rice paper, it actually stays, even with the dishwasher safe Mod Podge on top, it actually stays that opaque look. So I am so excited. All right, so we have another calendar page. It matches one of our coasters that we did earlier. I'm going to take this box from Dollar Tree and I'm going to put some dishwasher safe Mod Podge on it, on just the big side, not on the ends, and we're going to let it dry. Once that's dry, we're going to take our calendar page and kind of figure out where the image you want on the box to be. And then I'm going to protect the image. Normally I would use parchment paper, but I ran out. So I had to use my Teflon sheet that I use for sublimation. So we did that, put that on there, and then we're going to iron that onto the little box. Now, I found that when it's still warm, if you take a brayer or something that you can smooth out the image onto the box, it works much better. It gets out the bubbles and it adheres better. But again, you do however you want. Then I sand off the excess, and then I take my X-Acto knife and just score because it has some indents in it and I wanted to highlight those. So I scored it and then I put some sandpaper in between, and then we did the same thing on the other side. Dishwasher safe Mod Podge, let it dry, get our image, center it however you want it, and then use parchment paper or a Teflon sheet, and we're going to iron that on. Same song, second verse, right? Easy. See, I almost didn't say it. You know what? I'm going to say it. Easy peasy. You don't like it? Too bad. Turn off the volume. No, I don't mean it. I'm being sassy. I don't mean it. Then we're going to sand off just like we did the other one. And there it is. And then we're going to score those two lines that are in the wood. And then I took a piece of sandpaper, folded it, and then went into the center. Did I use an emery board? Yes. And it didn't work. It was too thick. Then after that, I'm going to add another layer of dishwasher safe Mod Podge. And then I have this rice paper. I think it's rice paper. And I'm going to put that on. This way it matches our coasters. If you didn't see the coaster video, go back and watch it because that was super fun. But anyways, so we put that on, smooth it out, and then I sanded off the excess. Look at how pretty it looks. Oh, it gives it this beautiful like matte finish. I just love it. Then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and just go through those wells again, just to be on the safe side so that they, I just wanted to highlight them, but you do that. You don't have to if you don't want to. I do the same thing on the other side. Dishwasher safe Mod Podge, add our rice paper, sand off the excess. And then I'm going to add some more dishwasher safe Mod Podge on the outside. Now, do you have to use dishwasher safe Mod Podge? No, you don't. I just happened to have it out because we were making coasters and I didn't get out the regular one, but you can use regular matte Mod Podge if you wanted. And so all I'm doing is just doing a sealing coat on this. And funny story, it does not dry shiny with this rice paper. It's awesome. But anyways, look at how pretty. And then we add our little coasters that we made to match. Yay! Matching is my favorite. All right, so we're starting with this really pretty charger that I got from Dollar Tree and a Dollar Tree not a napkin. What a dork. A calendar. And all I'm doing right now listen, you know who I am. I always change things up. I always pivot when I feel like something isn't working. So I cut out that center and I felt like it just didn't work right. So I wound up getting a round sign that I had gotten on clearance. And on the back, I just added some regular Mod Podge. Let it dry. Then once it's dry, I'm going to add that image that I originally cut out. Perfect, right? So we're going to put that on there, center it, however, and then I'm going to put a piece of, I'm using my Teflon sheet, but you could use parchment paper or a towel or whatever. You just want to protect the image, and then we're going to iron that onto that. Now, I always, and if you've watched any of the other videos in this series, I always iron it, then take off the sheet of whatever protector I have, and then I use a brayer and go over it, because you see how those little bubbles? Those will go away if you go over it. It's just sometimes air pockets happen, and so you just have to, rub them out. It's fine. Then I take my sanding block and sand off the excess of that image from the calendar. Now I'm using some Aleene's heavy duty glue. You could use E6000. I have allergies, so I can't. So whatever permanent glue choice you have, I put that on the back of that sign that we used for that calendar image. Then I'm going to add some hot glue because we want it to stick right now. Like I don't have time to wait, right? So then we're going to flip it over and then we're going to center it onto our charger. I forgot to mention, got that market. It's a tin sign. I'd gotten that from Dollar General. It was on clearance. It was like a dime. So I'm going to add some of the heavy duty glue, and then I'm also going to add some hot glue. Just be mindful, it's a tin sign and hot glue's hot, right? So just don't hurt yourself. And then I'm going to put that on the top of our charger plate. The plate is actually plastic. It looks like it's galvanized metal, but it's not. It's just plastic. So it adheres pretty good. So then I'm going to take, and all I did was make a knot with some jute and glue it onto each of the holes for that little tin sign. Next, I'm going to take some of it's like a denim and a burlap, and I'm just going to take a long piece. I think it was about 12 inches long, and then I just rolled it on itself, took some jute and tied it in the center, and then I just adjust it so that it has little bow tails to it. It was so simple though, like super simple. You could do an even simpler bow if you wanted, but see how I'm just adjusting it, making sure that it looks right. I added some hot glue to the back and added that to the bottom of the sign and quit it right now. Look at how cute this is. Are you kidding me? I love it. All right, so I have this calendar. It's from my stash, and I'm going to use the bunny image. I also have this fall sign that I had in my stash again. I used my orbital sander and sanded off the image. You could use water and get it off that way. Then we're going to do some regular matte Mod Podge, and I'm going to cover the surface that we just sanded with the Mod Podge, smooth it out, and then we're going to let that dry. I use my heat gun to make it dry faster because ain't nobody got time to wait for glue to dry. So see, there it is. It's dry, nice and smooth. Perfect. Then we take our image, which is a beautiful little bunny. And I did have another idea on how we were going to do this, and I totally did something different. So I cover the image. I'm using a Teflon sheet. You could use parchment paper, and I iron on to our round. There it is. Now I'm going to use a brayer. You've heard me say this before. It helps it stick much better and it gets all the bubbles out if you do that. You could use a water bottle if you wanted. Just make sure that you get all those bubbles out. Then I sand off the excess. And then I decided, I was like, because the edges weren't like too sharp, I decided, you know what, we're going to just sand it so it looks really distressed and vintagey, and I love it. So I used my Ryobi sander, and oh my goodness, I was so excited because I was going to put greenery around it originally and flowers, and let me tell you this, I love accidental projects because this made me so happy and it was so easy. I did use the back of a brush to pop the holes to the hanger, and then I have some raffia, and all I did was take my raffia, put it into a circle, and then pinch it in the center. Take another piece of raffia and tie that in the center, and now we've got a little bit of a bow. How fun, right? Yes, I know some of you hate raffia because it is a little bit of a pain in the tushy, but it just makes the design look so country and pretty, and it's got a bit of a spring vibe to it. I just love it. Then I had these little florals that I had gotten from Michael's, and I had just taken a couple off of them. And see, I'm just showing you, it's Ashland, so it's from Michael's. And all I'm going to do is just set the two of them onto our raffia bow, and then I'm going to take some more raffia, and I'm just going to tie it in the center. Again, this morphs, like this evolved as I did it, because I did not plan on doing any of this. So when it works out, it's as big of a surprise to me as it is to you. So look how cute though, right? Then I had this ribbon and I decided, you know what? Let's just do a simple ribbon. So all I did was crisscross applesauce. See how we did that? And then all we're going to do is pinch it, and so that the X and the top of your circle meet. Okay? And then all I'm going to do is take a piece of raffia and tie it in the center. Excuse me. And I just double knotted it. Didn't do anything crazy pants. And then we're going to take that bow. Once we're done adjusting it, we're going to take that bow and we're going to tie it to our little stack here that we had earlier with the raffia that we left on our bow. So look at How cute. So then I take some hot glue and I glued that to the top. I readjusted and stuff like that to make sure that you could see the bunny, and we trim our raffia just to make sure, but look at how pretty it is. I did add a jute hanger to it, but quit it right now. How adorable. I love accidental projects. They are my favorite. And this one, probably top of my list. Anyways, friends, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this inspires you.